Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. I am here just to give you a bunch of positivity today because, in my opinion now, something I talked about years ago, but I think we're finally here. I think the golden age of fighting games is just about to begin. So, as of the time of me making this video, the Street Fighter 6 open beta just ended just a little bit ago. And I keep my eyes open for this sort of thing because lots of people are getting to play the open beta that did not get to play the previous closed betas. And there's nothing but overwhelming positivity. Okay, maybe the odd complaint about drive impact because, well, of course, right? But other than that, overwhelming positivity and everyone's so bummed the beta's over. But thankfully, we only have a weekend change away till the proper and full launch of Street Fighter 6. And Street Fighter 6 is great, don't get me wrong, because, I'll be covering that a lot on the channel for months/years to come, I guess. But it's more than just Street Fighter 6. We already have so many great ongoing games like Guilty Gear Strive and King of Fighters. And not only that, we have some behemoths on the horizon as well. Mortal Kombat 1 launches this year too, and not even that far away. We have Street Fighter in June. We have Mortal Kombat 1 in September. They're only a few months away from each other. Been a long time since a Street Fighter and a Mortal Kombat have released anywhere near this close to each other. And Mortal Kombat, let's call it for what it is the single biggest franchise in all of fighting games. Bigger than Tekken, bigger than Street Fighter, bigger than Smash, bigger than everything. And that's part of the reason why I believe we're entering the new golden age, because Mortal Kombat holds a sway with the casual audience in a way most games don't, especially in fighting games. But it's not just Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter as well. Street Fighter 6 is gaining pull in a way that Street Fighter 5 just absolutely didn't and was nowhere close to doing. Granted, a big part of that is, well, content. Something Street Fighter 5 kind of just didn't have. But Mortal Kombat does have an abundance, and why it does so well with the casual audience. Stuff like the World Tour mode, an expansive open world RPG. Create and customize your own personal character, and learn from the iconic Street Fighter cast themselves, and you can use their special moves, their moveset, their everything as your own personal moves, and you get to mix and match too. So you can do Hadokens while you're also doing sumo headbutts. And of course, this is hardly the only thing, but this is one of the bigger selling points. And Street Fighter 6, the game itself, is, well, pretty dang fun. The hardcores, like myself and probably most of you watching this video, honestly, we're going to get the games no matter what, right? The casual audience, though, that's kind of the lifeblood of a lot of things, because you can convert casuals into hardcore players, and they're going to be well served this year between Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter 6. We don't know everything that Mortal Kombat's going to have just yet. That'll be revealed in time, but it's safe to say they're going to do well by us. I'm not too worried. And for Street Fighter 6, it's so far and beyond everything Street Fighter 5 was. They took the lesson to heart, for sure. And it's not just a 1-2 hit, it's actually a 3-hit combo. Tekken 8 is also coming out not too long from now. We don't have an exact date, and obviously it'll be later than Mortal Kombat. Could be at the end of the year, but more than likely it's going to be early, the beginning of next year. And so basically the big three, as it were, Street Fighter, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, will all roughly be launching within a year of each other, which is absolutely wild. We haven't been this spoiled for choice in fighting games in a very, very, very long time. I can honestly say there's something for everybody here, given just these games and also what's already going on and what's already continuing. And given that these three franchises are all launching in the relatively same window period, these are also the games that can also sell millions and millions of copies. Generally speaking, fighting games is not as big of a genre as other games. That's just how it was, right? If you were alive in the early 90s like I was, this was the biggest genre of all time. Fighting games were the biggest games in the world. However, obviously that's not the case anymore, but with so many millions and millions and millions of copies sold in this short time frame, man, we're going to be bringing in a lot of new people. Especially with Street Fighter, which overall I think most would agree is the flagship game of fighting games, even if Mortal Kombat sells more in the end, right? With Street Fighter being the friendliest to get into it's really ever been since Street Fighter 2, I think this is really going to help out the FGC. I think with the launch of Street Fighter 6 specifically, and going on into Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 and all that kind of stuff, you could say this is the beginning of the next generation of fighting games. And we have all the new consoles and all that, so it helps as well. But it's more than just, new numbered titles, right? Because there's been a generational shift in a lot of basic concepts, like, say, online play. Going into this generation now, we can safely say, oh yeah, the online, yeah, it'll work. You can play online and it'll be fine. And that's only a very recent development, honestly, in fighting games. If you're a grizzled old vet and you've been doing this fighting game thing for some years, you know online play has been the iffiest thing in the world when it should be the most basic building block of the game itself. Like, I had to turn into an old man waiting for online to be decent. I'm going to turn 40 this year, right? And even though now I am an old man, at least we finally got there. I can go into this generation. Street Fighter 6, I already know because we played the betas. Online is fantastic. Mortal Kombat 11, online is fantastic. Tekken 8, well, let's hope, right? Let's hope. And other things, like the online finally great. Tutorialization is now the best it's ever been as well. You're seeing this footage here from my trip to Capcom a while ago, and got to look at JP's character guides, and it's very in-depth. It's more than just like, here's the moves he has. It's, here's the moves he has, and why you want to use them, and how you want to use them, and here's some scenarios, and by the way, here's a couple things he's good at, by the way, here's a couple good normals. They go actually quite in-depth. And say Mortal Kombat 11, that was the best like tutorialization they ever had. I can only assume Mortal Kombat 1 will be even better yet. And Tekken 8, well, Tekken 7 literally didn't launch with a tutorial at all, so there's nowhere to go but up for there. For so many years, there's just a lack of content in fighting games besides just the fighting, right? And obviously that's the single most important part in the end. Granted, yes, absolutely. But for a lot of people to get into fighting games, they need that side stuff. Maybe the fun single player mode is what they need to get into fighting games, you know? Street Fighter 6's World Tour mode seems to be a great example of that because it is a big single player campaign, but it also tricks you into learning fighting game concepts along the way while you're doing the open world RPG. Now, granted, a lot of what I'm saying, I guess, is predicated on Street Fighter 6 itself, because they're doing everything right. All engines are firing. Basically, at this point, because we're almost near launch, it doesn't look like Street Fighter 6 can do anything wrong. And for the start of the new generation of fighting games, this is exactly the best foot forward that we need. Every lesson that needed to be learned from Street Fighter V has been learned. Classic Street Fighter gameplay, easy to understand systems. The whole drive system, I think, is very elegantly done and just dripping with content. Street Fighter 6 is one of the most content-rich fighting games ever made, straight up. And then going on from there in a few months, Mortal Kombat 1. Mortal Kombat 1 has had the longest development cycle of any Mortal Kombat game ever. So in terms of content, you gotta believe they're gonna be firing on all cylinders as well. They're not gonna be content light for sure. And once again, this is in the span of the next few months, about a week and a half from now till September. This is all happening very soon, very fast. And it all looks really, really, really good. So I hope you had some time to play the Street Fighter 6 beta yourself, because if you didn't, well, a little too late now, I guess. But so far, I've seen nothing but overwhelming positivity on the Street Fighter 6 front, and it's only growing and growing and growing. And Street Fighter 6 is going to be a very special game, I think. I think this will be the game that come, years in the future, people will be talking fondly about this game like a lot of us old timers do about Street Fighter 2. Maybe that's hyping it up too much, I don't know, but the one thing I can pretty safely say about Street Fighter 6 at this point, it seems to be the game that's going to live up to the hype. And that just makes me really happy. So we have this, we got Mortal Kombat 1, we have Tekken 8 in the very near future as well, maybe early next year, but still, the three pillars of fighting games are all happening, and they're all happening very soon. And I hope nothing for the best for all three games, and it looks like these games will serve the public at large very well. And that said, well, I guess that's why I think we're about to enter the new golden age of fighting games. Not since a long time past has the amount of hype been this high, and also that the game quality will be able to live up to that hype. And basically that's what I got to say. This video is just me gushing. This video is just me being very happy for the future of fighting games. Things are looking really good. I'm very excited, and I hope you are as well. And besides that, I suppose we are at the end of the video. So, thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some fighting games.